Hey everybody, welcome to Moment of Clarity. This is the news show, the slash occasionally comedy show that's every single weekday except sometimes. And you can get it always at leecamp.com. This is, it's actually good news in a way. It's how people are reacting to the massive number of evictions that are coming. Obviously, people across this country and to some degree around the world, but the United States perhaps has it worse, are getting evicted or are on the chopping block to lose their homes, lose their apartments, lose their housing. The estimates range from 28 million to 40-some million people facing eviction. The CDC claimed that there's a halt to evictions until January. However, that's in a lot of ways not true for a lot of people. It's true for some people, but for one thing, they can bring you to court and demand, no matter what the CDC said, that they're kicking you out anyway. And if you have a shit judge, which most people end up with a shit judge, they'll just be like, yeah, kick them out. Who cares? Because the job of most judges is to defend the empire, and the empire is all about unfettered capitalism, and unfettered capitalism is about kicking you out on your goddamn ass because a pandemic cost you your job. That's how capitalism works. That's how this garbage dumpster fire of an economy works. Kick you out because of something that was completely out of your control. So people are fighting back. People are standing up, and that's what I want to show you. It's happening differently in a lot of cities. The fighting back is truly incredible. Okay, so this is what's happening in Kansas City. So these are the courts, because in order to kick someone out of their apartment, usually they take you to court, and usually the judge just signs off on it, bang a gavel, get the fuck out, all right, see you later, good luck living under a bridge. And they just do that all day long. And so these activists ran up and chained the court closed. Eviction hearings have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. Eviction hearings have got to go. Hey, hey. Oh, oh. Eviction hearings have. That is in Kansas City. Those fucking heroes went and chained to that courthouse closed to stop the evictions, which I think is goddamn incredible. That's exactly what needs to happen. People standing up, fighting back, stopping these evictions however you can. Stand up for your neighbors. And it can work, because if enough people stand up to stop these things, then a lot of times the system, the corporate system, the large entities that rule over these decisions realize that if they keep pushing forward with it, then the fight back, the pushback, as Cornel West said, as the great Professor Cornel West said, the beautiful pushback. If they realize that the beautiful pushback will be more powerful, then they start to worry that the whole system could devolve, that it could start to lose its authority, its sheen of authority that it has plastered over its face like a cucumber mask at a spa. They've got that goop over them, and it's the sheen of authority. And they're afraid they'll start to lose that. And if they start to lose that, then who knows where the bottom is? Who knows how many eviction orders people will begin ignoring? So often they'll decide to delay these things if enough people are fighting back, or there can even be some rent forgiveness and things like that. People are fighting for rent forgiveness. That's another thing that's going on in various cities. And for those of you who are I'll be considerate. I'll be cordial, and I'll say not bright enough to understand that this is what fucking heroes look like. These people chaining this courthouse, and you are saying things like, "Oh, they're breaking the law. The law's the law. Don't do the crime unless you do the time. Or whatever the fuck. These laws are disgusting. And they're tearing lives apart. And so if you actually want to get in a discussion, a moral discussion, as to what someone should do ethically, if there's a law that is wrong, that is destroying lives, then that law should be broken. It is a moral obligation to break a law that is wrong. And so to watch courts across this nation throw people out of their homes endlessly while we're in the middle of a pandemic, while the economy is nearly shut down for a lot of people, while the so-called first line, workers, the necessary workers, the essential workers have to be out there. They're often the ones earning minimum wage, right? Many of you may be them. They're often the ones that are earning the lowest level, while the CEOs rake in 200, 300, 400 times what your average worker gets. And yet apparently the essential workers are the ones who are going broke during this time. And so people are getting kicked out of their homes. They've got 4 months rent amassed, added up. While there's nowhere to get a job, they can't find a job, they can't deal with this. The kids aren't in school. How are they going to pay for daycare and all the rent and everything at the same time? And so there's no reason people should be kicked out of their homes right now. We have 17 million vacant homes in the United States of America. That's not even counting all the ones that will go vacant when these evictions go through. That's just normal. That's just any given day, 17 million vacant homes and houses. So don't tell me we don't have enough room. Don't tell me we don't have enough houses. What these people did by closing off that courthouse is beautiful. It's wonderful. It's what we should all be cheering on. And that's just one example. Many people across the nation are pushing for canceling the rents, canceling the money owed to these landlords. The government could bail out the landlords so that people don't have to pay that rent. I mean, if they can give $4.25 trillion to Wall Street in the middle of this, then they can bail out some landlords and allow people to stay inside their homes. In Los Angeles, I'm going to go through some more examples. So that was Kansas City. In Los Angeles, they have created rapid response teams that are going to places where the cops have come to kick people out of their homes and apartments, and they're going there and they're showing up as quickly as possible. And sometimes they're putting their bodies in the way, creating a physical blockade between the police and the tenants. But more often than not, what they're doing is just talking to the cops about what the rights are that the tenants have. Because lots of times cops don't know your rights. Cops are often sent, like, for example, if they're sent to evict you, they were sent by their higher up, go evict these people. The court said so. And they don't know what rights a tenant has. They don't study that shit. They don't study goddamn anything. In some of the states in our country, you can become a cop with fucking 2 hours on a Sunday. That's your training. That's what it is. You go watch Lethal Weapon twice, and then they give you a badge. I mean, there's no training. Cops don't know what your rights are half the time. So these rapid response teams go there, which, by the way, I think they should have like awesome rapid response cars that look like, like the ambulance in the Ghostbuster movies, right? Where they have like a few weird lights on and they fucking go down the street and you're like, what the fuck was that thing? That rapid response teams should absolutely have those. Just weird looking cars tearing through traffic to go protect tenants that are getting kicked out. Anyway, they show up and they explain, they talk to the cops, they mediate to the cops, because if you're involved in one of these rapid response teams, you're taught, how to de-escalate. You're probably a little calmer than the tenants who are afraid they're literally going to be sleeping on that sidewalk tonight. And so you have a calm conversation with the police about the rights between the tenants and explain it to the cops. And anyway, it can go a long way to protecting people as they're almost getting kicked out of their apartments and houses. Another one is in Philadelphia. There's a group of also heroes that and heroines for the ones who like to do the drugs that have been keeping a list of vacant homes that are just around, just empty houses that they know are vacant, that they know no one lives in, and taking people who've been evicted, who've been kicked out of their home, who are homeless, and just moving them into these vacant houses. And some of the time they've been doing it like in the middle of the night, so the neighbors don't call the cops, or they've been doing it in a orange vest and a hard hat, so they look like they're official. You got to dress. If you're going to give someone a house in this country, you got to dress up real nice. You got to dress up in a trick outfit, because giving someone a house is highly illegal. Oh my God, we're a horrible human being. You're giving someone a house. And so they just move them in. And of course, you have more or less success with this. Some of the time the cops come the next day and kick people out. Some of the time the people get to stay in the vacant homes for weeks, months, because no one cares, and you got a vacant home and they can live there, and you just gain them 3-4 extra months of somewhere to live. It's fucking incredible. And they're doing that in Philadelphia. And I think that, people should be starting these things up in cities around America. You should be starting up rapid response teams, starting up tenants' rights groups, starting up end the rent, cancel the rent protests, starting up all different types of activism, of standing up, of fighting back, of being a part of the beautiful pushback to create a better situation than the fucking one we're in, because it's a goddamn catastrophe. These fucking lawmakers, I mean, they're responsible for this. They're responsible for the fact that this pandemic has been so bad. We could have done better, like many other countries have. They're responsible for the fact that the economy is collapsing like this. And then they're responsible for never asking a single goddamn question about capitalism, which is built on endless consumption, endless buying up and spitting out. And the moment it stops, the moment it pauses, the moment people say, hey, don't go to a restaurant tonight, all of a sudden everything starts collapsing down around you, because the system is based on endless greed, consumption, production, and waste. That is it. There's no accounting for our sustainability, no accounting for our future, no accounting for a livable world. None of that. None of that's even considered. We have an economic system built on just fucking trash ideas. I mean, and you realize this has only been around. I mean, they didn't use the word economist until like the 1920s. And it wasn't even common. They didn't use the term GDP until after World War II. It started in World War II. So if GDP didn't exist until World War II, how is it crushing countries now? Do you understand how powerful these idiot economic ideas are? Ideas that we didn't even have until World War II are now responsible for crushing countries. It's our imaginary bullshit is destroying the world. And we don't even talk, we're not even allowed to talk about it. You're not even allowed to have the discussion. Please, somebody send me the 10-minute CNN clip where they calmly, in a substantive way, discuss capitalism. I'd love to see it. So I listed, Philadelphia, that was Kansas City, that was Los Angeles. One more I want to say is mutual aid. This doesn't have to do with housing, but it has to do with food. People need food out there. Mutual aid groups are popping up around the country. You could Google mutual aid in your city and probably find one of these meetups, one of these groups. And they're basically, I mean, they work with things more than just food. They are trying to help people stay in their homes and things like that. But one of the biggest things they're doing is getting food to people who have no way to buy food in the middle of this pandemic. Literally, they go on daily trips, bringing bags of groceries to people absolutely free. That's what they're involved in. Here in DC, they're doing really well. Each different area of DC has a different mutual aid that they, there's different processes. There's no president. There's no CEO douchebag running it. It's just neighbors getting together, being like, hey, turns out people need food. Here's food. Done. End of equation. You don't have to sign a contract that's limited liability company to get your bologna in a sack. hey, sign this, and also we need you to wear this T-shirt that says you're sponsored by Citibank so that you can get a pack of Lunchables. No, all you got to do is look up mutual aid and call them up, and if they have room and enough groceries, they will give you free groceries. All right, guys, I hope that you found this useful, and I hope you'll come back often. Remember, you are not going to be shown my videos. You probably have to go look them up at leecamp.com. I put these out every single weekday, except sometimes. And you can also check out my free podcasts. One is called Common Censored. The other is called Government Secrets. Definitely look those up. Seriously, give Government Secrets a try. See if you like what you hear. Me and Graham Elwood, it's every week. And I think that, I think you'd be a fan if you just check it out, Government Secrets. And also my book is at leecampbook.com. You can get 20% off by using the coupon code, the initials of the title, BPAPL. And my comedy special is free at leecampamerican.com. All right, please share this. Please click subscribe and keep fighting.